Lasermate, eject, operation, channel intro.
Hello, fellow YouTubers. Lego EWC Stop Motioner here. Welcome to viewers new and old. And today, I finally get to review Transformers Animated Leader Class Megatron. Because I finally got another sword for him. I've been really looking forward to reviewing this guy. So now I finally can. So, helicopter mode. I love it. I think I've said many times in my videos, I like Transformers that turn into helicopters, and I thought this is a really different but awesome alt mode for Megatron to turn into. Because it's like the helicopter blades can spin, it's like you don't really want to get near them because you could risk getting sliced up. Now I am missing a missile. I don't really care. Anyway. If I did add the missile, the way to activate it is pull that section back, then push on this button right here, and then it would fire. So, cool, but I don't care about it. And he's got landing gear right here, and on his gun. And he can roll pretty well. He's got a nice red cockpit. Doesn't look too bad from underneath. Which is amazing, because he has a pretty simple and straightforward transformation, but he manages to use that to great effect. You know, it's an animated toy, so of course he does. So his helicopter blades, it's really cool how they work. You spin one of them, and then they both spin. Sorry, where was I? Oh yeah. Then underneath, you have this Decepticon symbol. You push on it once, and it lights up and makes a helicopter sound. Just for a few seconds, but if you hold it down for an extended period of time, it'll just go as long as you hold it down, or as long as the batteries last. Or, you know, as long as your parents maintain their sanity. Okay, so first off, for comparison, let's bring in Optimus so they can go at each other. Obviously, Megatron is a lot bigger and more formidable in this form. Then, of course, let's bring in some more Decepticons. Here we have his faithful servant Lugnut. Here we have Blitzwing. And here's Starscream. So that's most of the 5 Decepticons that we saw. Excuse me. At the beginning of part 1 of Transform and Roll Out. Just need to get a Black Arachnia, who would look really out of place with these, but, you know, I still want to get her someday. Just waiting to find a good deal. So that's cool. I will say, these are very loose. I hope that doesn't mean anything too bad, but he doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of like different colors. He's pretty much gray, red, and black. But I like that. I mean, it's Megatron. You know, that's kind of a fitting color palette for him. So I like it. So I think that pretty much covers the Copter mode. So now we can get on to the transformation. And as I said earlier, transformation is fairly straightforward. So we're going to begin. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so just take this, fold it up like that. Then just pull this section right here. Make sure the handle comes out. And then just slide it out. Okay, then do the same thing on this side, except do it correctly, unlike what I just did. Alright. Then come right here. Now this is a part that makes me a little nervous. You gotta come here and just remove the gun. And, you know, just make sure you don't break it. So that's probably the biggest problem with this guy, in the sense that if he loses weapons, this is the alt mode. And it's kind of nothing without him. So that's a shame, but I've got all the parts now, so I'm good. Now, then as you pull this back, there's actually a switch that activates the transformation sound. I have been able to locate it, but I'm not even going to bother trying to show it on camera. Okay, so let's angle the camera up a little bit. Alright. So, this black section right here, put your thumb on it, and then just grab this section right here. You can push it down until it snaps into place. It just goes on the back here. It doesn't tab in, unfortunately, but oh well. Okay, then come right here, untab these in the middle. What I love about this transformation is that this is how he transformed in the show. I love it when they do that, and this line does it so much. Okay, split him at the legs, which does require a little bit of force, admittedly. Okay, then come right here. Make sure you get the clearance so you can rotate this around. Then fold it down. Then fold the landing gear in. Do the same thing on this side. Alright, then fold the feet out. Alright, then just pull the arms forward, and when you do that, that's going to manipulate these right here. So you want them in like this for robot mode, then out like this for helicopter mode. Alright, then just pull this section down, open this up, just kind of get your nail on there, and fold the fist out, then angle it, then do the same thing on this side. Rotate it. Okay, that's the base robot mode done. Now, there's some grooves right here. You just want to line them up with the forearm. Just right. And that's basically the robot mode. And this robot mode is really amazing. Really, the only problem I have with it visually would be his knees. I do wish you could just click these in just a little bit. And that's honestly my only complaint with him from a, you know, visual standpoint, because otherwise I think he looks amazing. Incredibly accurate to how he looked in the cartoon. Again, he's very imposing. And of course, he's got his two swords right here that he can hold. Okay, come on. Now, yes, he does have quite a bit of back kibble, but he doesn't have much of a problem standing, so I'm okay with that. I do like how his legs kind of curve up like this. That's just a nice added touch. Yeah, he's got his fusion cannon that, you know, works the same as in helicopter mode. He has 3 different lines. And that is actually Corey Burton. It sounds a little off for some reason, but that is him. And the nice thing is, I love the expressiveness in his face here, because when you open the mouth, his forehead, I guess his brow, kind of drops and makes him look more angry. So that's really, really awesome. I love that. So, for some comparisons, again, here he is with his rival Optimus. And, I mean, he's a good bit taller. A lot of times, they just have them be roughly the same height, or Megatron be a little bit taller, but Megatron is like a good head taller than Optimus. So, that was very different, and I like that. Okay, so with his other Decepticons, here he is with Starscream. Here he is with Blitzwing. And the scale here is really good until you bring in poor little Lugnut. Yeah, it's interesting because animated toys could, really knew how to, the designers really knew how to make the mass shift. Lugnut mass shifted the wrong way though. Instead of getting bigger in his robot mode, he got a lot smaller. Still, he's incredibly accurate, and this still looks really cool, just the scale isn't accurate. But just about every Transformers line has one or two figures, or maybe a little bit more of that suffer from size issues, so unfortunately, Lugnut just had to be that one. Now for the articulation, the head is on a swivel. I get a little nervous messing with it though because it kind of wobbles, and of course, this head has electronics in it. And you can actually stick the headmaster on there. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't like change the electronic sounds or anything, but still, it's nice that it's there. Now the shoulders are on ratchets, and if you manipulate the lower arm, they can pull off a 360. These can go out to the sides. You do get a bicep rotation. You do get a double jointed elbow because of the transformation, and you do get a wrist swivel, which is really cool. You do have a waist swivel, but you really only have 3 different locations for it because it's ratcheted. Then legs, again, are ratcheted. A lot of joints on this guy are ratcheted, which is really cool. So they can kick forward that far and back about that far. They can go out to the side that far. You do get a knee swivel. Now this is the one joint I don't really like that much. The knee joint. It's pretty tight, but it can pull off almost a 90, about thereabouts. You do get foot articulation, and yet another, excuse me, sorry. And yet another figure that was doing ankle tilts before it was cool. You get a crazy ankle tilt with that. And that's not part of the transformation. That's just there for the articulation. So that's just super appreciated. Here's something you can do with him. Just got him right here. And he looks a little startled. Yeah, just having some fun with that. Now, like a lot of animated figures, he doesn't really have a whole lot in the way of sculpted in details, but again, this line used it to its advantage. Have really good, solid engineering and, figures with good articulation that are still fun to mess with. So, in all honesty, I think that about covers this figure. So, I'll go ahead and stick him on my display. Okay, so there's Megatron with my animated Decepticons, and he looks cool. So, just an amazing figure. The wait to review him was more than worth it. I mean, what can I say? His helicopter mode is phenomenal. Transformation, straightforward, but it doesn't really have to be super complex. It gets the job done. and robot mode look superb aside from the knees, and the articulation is really good. So, I mean, I obviously recommend this figure, especially if you're an animated fan. I mean, you need Megatron, but he's also just an amazing figure. He's one of the best in a line of outstanding figures that I feel did very little wrong. Although, the tough thing is, finding one that's complete is going to be one thing, then finding one that's complete for a good price. I was able to get an incomplete version of this guy for $45, and really nice person decided to send me the extra sword for free, so really appreciate that. So I love this figure, and I'm not sick, I just got a lot of frogs in my throat for some reason. But regardless, this is a figure you need to get, no matter what you have to do to get it. Just get one, it's amazing. So, that's my review for Transformers Animated Leader Class Megatron, finally. So, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and God bless.